Hey everybody, it's TRAKing Pat, and today's video we're going to cover one of my favorite subjects. As you guys all know by now, is named after this in a weird roundabout way. But we are going to talk about tracking on the ProtoTRAK RLX lathe. It is a little bit different than the way it works on the SX, but mostly I want to kind of cover the reason we have tracking in the first place. Tracking was invented a long time ago with our very first lathe because our owner realized that a lot of our manual machinist customers that are learning how to use a CNC for the first time be a little bit scared when it comes time to actually trust themselves and push go and watch that tool going 200 miles an hour right towards a spinning chuck. And so we thought, well, what can we do to make that feel a little bit better? So we invented tracking. And tracking basically lets me be in control of the feed rate as it runs the CNC program. And the way that we do that is in the control handles. Our electronic hand wheels actually have a coarse and a fine feed. So depending on how fast you want to move it, I can use either handle. Now I can actually machine the whole part if I want to keep turning, or I can just use it to make sure I'm in the right place and there won't be any crashes, and then let the control take over. Now what I've got going on in the control right now is I've got a part that has both outside cycles, but one of them is a right-handed cycle and the second one is a left-handed cycle. It's the left-handed cycle that scares me the most because it's got to get really close to the chuck before it moves away from the chuck in order to do the work. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this into run mode, but I want you to see what we got. So first let me go to program mode. I'm just going to swipe forward and there you see my part. So here's my outside cycle and then here's my inside cycle. Okay? So picture my chuck being right here, and that's kind of where the scary part comes from. All right, so I've got that already in there. I've got my tool table all set up and I'm ready to go. So what we're going to talk about in this before I push start, because it's a little harder to talk over the machine running, is I'm using two tools. I got a right turn face tool and a left turn face tool. I'm going to show how to get in and out of tracking. I'm also going to show how to use the chip clear in the run mode. Okay, so to get us started, I'm going to switch modes and go to run. And then I can either start at the beginning or start anywhere like I normally can. I'm going to go to start, right? And now I'm going to wait till it processes, and then when it tells me start the spindle and push go, I'm going to start the spindle and go to tracking. So here I select tracking, and as I turn the handle, it's going to go home. And then it's going to start coming in. So the first thing I'm doing with tracking is I'm making sure I'm in the right place, right? So I come in here where my first cut is, and I look where I'm at, and I can even cut a little bit with it, as you can see here. It looks like it's going to be correct, so I'm going to let it run, and then I'm going to stop it after it changes tools. To do so, I'm going to hit stop, CNC run, and go. Okay, so now I'm going to go back to tracking to do the left-handed part because I know I got to get in close to the chuck at first. I'm also going to show you how the chip clear works in the middle of it. Select tracking. Looks okay to me. Stop, CNC, go. Okay, so right here I stopped, and what I'm going to do is go to chip clear, and when I select chip clear, I can actually move away with the jog stick or the hand wheels shut the machine off, clear out my chips, and then when I want to go back, this is the one thing you got to keep in mind. Wherever I put this control in the tooltip, when I push resume, it's going to go in a straight line back to where it was, which means it might hit the end of the finished part that I don't want to. So I have to always make sure that before I go back, I at least get it over in the area where it's going to take a straight line to where it was. So in this case, I'm going to put it here. All right, I'm going to push resume, right? And then I can still track it now, but it's going to track back to the actual place where it was, as you can see there. And it looks good to me, so I'm just going to let it run. Push go. And there you have it. So now you see exactly how tracking works. The greatest part about this feature is the fact that it allows me as the operator to always be in control of the situation. If there's anything going on that I don't like or think is going to be wrong, simply hit stop, go to tracking, walk it through it manually till you know that you're correct and everything looks good. Hit stop one more time, CNC run, and let it do the work. It's very common for somebody who's got a very difficult part to even track the entire sequence and run the first part just to make sure everything's great. Then when they put their next part in, they feel confident enough to just push go and let it rip. So you can see with what I'm showing you right here that tracking is a phenomenal feature. We've had it for 20 plus years and it's still the greatest thing out there. I've never seen any other control that works quite like this does. And you will find that you can be confident right away whether this is the first CNC you ever run or you've been running them your whole life. Hopefully, this gives you a really good idea on why you would want to look at a ProtoTRAK RLX. It's only one feature, but it's a big one. And I hope you really like to see what I've done with it and how you're going to do it yourself. So again, don't forget to talk to your salesman so he can give you a full demonstration in one of our showrooms. And until then, I'll see you in the next video. And as always, keep on tracking.